Welcome to Deep Dive. Our goal, as always, is to cut through the noise, get straight to the insights you really need. And today, we're plunging into a topic well, it's increasingly central to our homes, our businesses, our whole sense of security, really. The alarm monitoring market. We've been digging into a pretty significant market research report that's from Cognitive Market Research titled Alarm Monitoring Market Trends and Future Opportunities, and it's freshly updated, covering late 2024 through mid-2025. So our mission today, we want to distill all that data, pull out the most important nuggets so you can quickly get a handle on the current landscape, the key trends, the challenges too, and of course, the really exciting future possibilities. We're aiming for those aha moments,
Right.
the ones that make you feel genuinely well-informed.
It's such a critical area to understand now, isn't it? I mean, these systems, they're evolving so rapidly,
Yeah.
and they directly impact our safety, our security, right from our individual homes all the way up to, well, broader urban environments. It's really about more than just a siren going off these days. It's about this deeply connected world we're building.
Absolutely. So, let's start with the basics, just for anyone who hasn't thought deeply about this before.
Mhm.
How would you define these alarm monitoring systems? Like, what's their core job beyond just making noise when something goes wrong?
Yeah, good place to start. So, at its heart, an alarm monitoring system is basically that crucial communication link. It connects whatever security setup you have, on-site home, business, whatever, with a professional security service provider. Their core function, it does go beyond simple alerts. They immediately notify these providers about, burglaries, fires, maybe medical emergencies. But what's really vital, I think, is that they actively work to reduce the severity of these threats and even implement preventive measures sometimes. It turns a passive alarm into an actionable rapid response.
Right. The distinction between just an alarm and an actionable response, that feels key. Can you give us a sense of the sort of tangible benefits that come from that capability?
Absolutely. I mean, think about the immediate impact during something like a fire or, God forbid, an explosion. These systems can trigger an instant alert to emergency services that can literally be life-saving. And similarly, in a medical emergency, they enable the immediate dispatch of medical workers. So it's not just about protecting property, though that's important. It's fundamentally about human safety.
Yeah, you can really see the value there. So given those critical benefits, what's actually driving the growth in this global industry? What did the report highlight?
Well, the report points to several pretty powerful drivers. Unsurprisingly, rising crime rates are a significant factor that naturally increases demand for, robust security. Then there's the growing influence of insurance policies. More and more, they incentivize or sometimes even mandate installing security systems, so there's a financial push. But maybe the most dynamic driver, the report suggests, is the really high adoption rate of home automation systems. Because they integrate so seamlessly with alarm monitoring, it's pushing the market forward in new ways.
And those drivers are clearly having a massive impact on the market size. The report puts the value at around what? USD 6,815 million in 2024. But the projection, that's really compelling. It's expected to jump to over USD 10,459 million by 2032. That represents a compound annual growth rate, a CAGR, of 5.50% over that period. That kind of consistent growth, well, it tells a story, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And to give you a concrete example of this growth in action, the report actually highlights Rapid Fire Safety and Security's acquisition of Albuquerque Low Voltage. Rapid Fire, they're a multi-regional buy and build specialist focused on fire, life safety, security, that sort of thing. So their move to acquire this full service provider in Albuquerque, New Mexico, is a really clear strategic step. It establishes a solid base for them to expand further into the American Southwest. This kind of consolidation and expansion, it's a vivid illustration of the market's dynamism, and the confidence everyone has in its future growth.
Okay, so with those impressive growth figures setting the scene, let's pivot a bit. Let's talk about the current trends shaping this market and maybe where these shifts are most prominent geographically. The market value, as we said, around USD 6,815 million in 2023. That's our starting point here.
Indeed, and we're seeing strong demand across, well, a really wide array of sectors. You've got residential, government, public sector, healthcare, commercial. It's broad. Now, looking at the key trends technologically and strategically that cognitive market research identified, there's a huge push for integrated security solutions. This means combining, traditional alarm systems with video surveillance, access control, all into one seamless, comprehensive package. And of course, as everything gets more connected, there's a growing emphasis, a really necessary one, on cybersecurity, protecting against hacking, data breaches. It's a clear move towards truly holistic and, frankly, intelligent security systems.
That makes sense. Talking to everything else, but
Mhm.
securely. And when we look at the global footprint, how do the regional shares break down? Where's the action happen?
Right, so North America currently holds the largest slice of the pie, about 35% in 2023. This seems largely driven by the rapid implementation of the Internet of Things, IoT, especially within industrial manufacturing facilities. That leads to more automated security.
Okay, 35% North America. What about Europe?
Europe isn't far behind. They account for about 30% of the market. Their strong position seems fueled by, well, rising concerns about safety and security across the board, residential, commercial, industrial. Plus, there's a significant focus in Europe on sustainability and adopting advanced modern security solutions.
Gotcha. And Asia Pacific. That often seems to be a high growth area in tech.
And it is here too. Asia Pacific held around 25% of the market in 2023. This region is truly a hotbed of growth, particularly with high volume production in sectors like petroleum, petrochemicals, oil and gas, especially in countries like China. That drives big investments in alarm management systems, often for worker safety. In fact, the Asia Pacific market share is expected to surge, maybe hitting 28% by 2024, and it boasts the highest compound annual growth rate, the highest EGR among all regions predicted at 10%.
Wow, 10%.
Yeah, it's significant. And it's also worth noting, just as a side point, that alarm monitoring import shipments in this region, they're predominantly handled by nations like Vietnam, India, and Peru. So that highlights a specific trade dynamic, too.
That strong growth in Asia Pacific is definitely something to watch. Okay, so thinking about the companies involved, the competitive landscape. You mentioned it's fiercely competitive. We know names like Johnson Controls, Bosch, Schneider Electric, Honeywell. What strategies are these big players using to, grab and keep their market share?
Oh, it's absolutely a dynamic battleground. So in 2023, Schneider Electric actually held a pretty dominant share, around 21%. Honeywell was at 14%. Johnson Controls around 12%. Their strategies, they're really multifaceted and strategic, obviously. They're focusing hard on creating highly customized alarm management systems. They recognize that, one size fits all just doesn't cut it anymore. We're also seeing significant investment in developing unique solutions that incorporate machine learning, artificial intelligence, AI to enhance capabilities, make things smarter. Beyond the tech, many are increasing business arrangements, things like collaborations, joint ventures, partly to centralize supply chains, streamline operations. And they're still using traditional market strategies too, of course. Alliances, market expansion, M&A, mergers and acquisitions, and just solid research and development. It's really a blend of cutting-edge innovation and traditional business savvy.
That combination makes a lot of sense, innovation plus smart strategy. So looking at these trends, the competition,
Yeah.
what are some of the biggest opportunities you see emerging from all this data?
The opportunities are pretty broad, actually. There's significant potential in continuing the research into machine learning algorithms, specifically for more accurate threat detection. And this is crucial, fewer false alerts. That's a major headache for users and providers.
Oh yeah, everyone hates false alarms.
Exactly. We're also seeing ongoing development of lower cost monitoring solutions. That's important to appeal to more cost sensitive customers, broaden market access for homes and small businesses. And very significantly, integration with smart city infrastructures. That's opening up entirely new service avenues for these companies. Big potential there.
So smart cities, let's drill down on that a bit. How are those initiatives specifically contributing to the growth and evolution of alarm monitoring?
Well, smart city growth itself is being propelled by, increased investment, tech advancements, rapid urbanization, and really crucial government backing. Alarm monitoring systems are becoming just integral components within that whole framework. So, for example, video surveillance cameras, they're playing a bigger and bigger role in smart buildings to help prevent crime. And that data feeds into integrated security networks where alarm monitoring systems are a key part. It's all about trying to create safer, more responsive urban environments overall.
And as these systems get more sophisticated, more integrated, what about regulations, things like the new data protection law? How is that expected to influence demand?
That's a really powerful point. The new, more stringent data protection law, it's actually projected to significantly influence demand, possibly even boost it in a way, because it forces providers to build more robust, secure systems to protect individuals' privacy. And doing that, building in that security and privacy from the ground up, can foster greater trust among consumers and businesses, which potentially could drive wider adoption of these more secure solutions. It's kind of a push-pull between security and privacy, with regulations helping set the standards.
Okay, that's an interesting dynamic. Trust through regulation.
But this does raise an important question, doesn't it? What's potentially holding back this otherwise really robust growth we're seeing? According to the report, a primary impediment is, well, simply the higher costs associated with these advanced alarm monitoring systems.
Ah, the cost factor. That makes a lot of sense. When you think about it, these costs, they include the initial purchase, right? And installation of some pretty complex gear, sophisticated software. Plus, you've got recurring annual maintenance fees. And all that can really make the state-of-the-art systems kind of inaccessible for smaller firms or just individual homeowners, especially in, more economically constrained areas. And naturally, the more advanced features you want, the higher those operational costs tend to climb. It definitely creates a barrier to entry for some.
Yeah, absolutely. And beyond just the financial aspect, there's another significant concern. It stems from the growing reliance on all these connected cloud-based devices. And that's the heightened privacy and security issues they inevitably introduce.
Oh, definitely. Users quite rightly worry about data breaches, don't they? Unauthorized access, the potential hacking of sensitive information gathered by these systems. And when you start integrating surveillance cameras, all sorts of sensors, cloud storage, that exposure to cyber threats, it just becomes much more pronounced. Building and maintaining trust is a real challenge.
Yeah. It really highlights a critical need, doesn't it? Strong encryption, secure ways to authenticate users, strict compliance with all the evolving data protection rules. These are absolutely essential. Without building that confidence through really robust security measures, widespread usage and adoption, well, it's going to face significant hurdles. People need to feel safe using safety systems.
Makes total sense. Okay, let's shift gears again, look ahead a bit. Despite those challenges, cost and privacy, the report points to some truly transformative developments expected in the future. What are you seeing in terms of integrating advanced tech, like artificial intelligence, AI, and machine learning? How's that changing things?
Well, AI algorithms, for instance, they're really poised to enhance threat detection significantly. They can analyze complex patterns, behaviors, moving way beyond simple triggers to identify potential security risks much more reliably and proactively, too. And machine learning, that allows these systems to adapt over time, to refine their responses based on experience. This should lead to a dramatic minimization of those false alarms we talked about.
The holy grail.
Exactly. It's a huge benefit for both users and the service providers. It reduces inconvenience, builds trust in the system. It's key.
So it's not just about better detection. It sounds like it's about creating a truly coherent security ecosystem. What does that look like? How will alarm systems integrate with other smart devices? Cameras, sensors, even thermostats.
It means fundamentally transforming the alarm monitoring industry, improving both the functionality and, crucially, the user experience. Smart home automation integration enables seamless communication between the alarm system and, well, a whole range of devices. Smart locks, cameras, lighting, creating these genuinely intelligent security environments. So, for example, if a breach is detected, the system could immediately lock doors, turn on all the lights, send real-time video alerts to users via their mobile apps. Coordinated responses.
Right, much more active.
Much more active. And home automation takes this even further. It allows users to create and automate specific reactions based on triggers, like automatically adjusting settings when you leave the house or when you arrive back. You see companies like Honeywell really leading the way here. They have systems like their Morley IAS Max fire detection and alarm system. It enhances building and occupant safety with really advanced capabilities, but they're trying to keep it simple to manage. And it all feeds into this broader, smarter ecosystem.
So the prospects really do sound enormous then. Fueled by this increasing demand for comprehensive security, advanced data analytics.
Precisely. And innovations in cybersecurity, which we've touched on, and even environmental monitoring, things like flood or CO2 detection integrated in those, will continue to fuel growth.
Yeah.
It makes alarm systems an essential, deeply integrated component of modern security and safety management, whether that's in our homes, our workplaces, or our cities. The ongoing focus on enhancing the user experience, making it seamless, and ensuring system dependability. That's really what will shape the future of this dynamic business.
Wow, what a deep dive this has really been. We've kind of journeyed all the way from understanding the basics of alarm monitoring, its current market standing, through those significant regional shifts, the competitive landscape, all the way to the critical challenges like cost and privacy, and then into this incredible potential of smart home integration and AI.
Yeah, and to sort of connect this back to the bigger picture, the alarm monitoring market is clearly in a phase of rapid continuous growth. It's consistently driven by tech improvements, by evolving consumer preferences, its evolution across residential, commercial, industrial sectors. It's truly transformative, and it really shows no signs of slowing down anytime soon.
So here's a final thought maybe for you, the listener, to mull over. As these alarm systems become so deeply integrated with our smart homes, our smart cities, moving far beyond just simple alarms to become intelligent, adaptive security networks. What does this truly mean for the definition of privacy within our most personal spaces, and how will we, as a society, balance this evolving concept of privacy with the undeniable fundamental quest for safety and security? Something to think about. Keep exploring, keep thinking about these fascinating developments in the world around you. Thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive.